Stardate 5365 9.4. We're en route to a planet seems to be full of humanoid life. I've been ordered there on a preliminary investigation on the possibility of first contact. It'll be nice to deal with people who aren't shooting at us after our recent encounters. Well, I guess they could end up shooting at us depending on how it goes. In Captain's log.
All right, so the ship is scheduled to arrive at this planet in a couple of hours. So for the first scene, if you guys have any role-playing, character development stuff you would like to do, now would probably be your best chance, and more than likely your best chance for the entire arc, because there's going to be a lot going on the next couple of weeks. So if you guys got anything, now's the time to do it.
I suppose I'll jump on that. Looking to meet with the captain, likely in their ready room.
I was intending to meet you in engineering. We'll run into each other in a hallway.
Sure.
All right, go ahead and you're in one of the hallways somewhere on the ship.
Captain?
Ensign?
I hold out a pad. Here's the latest report for the experimental fighter. We have it all tied up. It's just a matter of doing the shakedowns and making sure the actual practical ship actually flies. But I'm still not sure about it, but it works. It goes to spec.
You're getting pretty accurate with your new rank. This is what I was headed down to talk to you about.
Sir?
Anticipating my questions and whatnot. And he's going to look over the pad. Ensign, I've just had a report come across my desk from one of the newer ships in the fleet that they've encountered one of these fighters. Apparently the plans have been stolen from us. Why don't you go ahead and send them the specs in case they need to dissect one of these?
I'll do that right away, Captain. Is there going to be investigation of the engineering department given a security leak, or is this... Because I don't remember sending this out to anyone else beyond the ship.
No, I'm acutely aware of where it came from. We had a former helmsman who was pretty loose-lipped with a compromised officer.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, small reliefs, I suppose, Captain. At least it wasn't one of my men.
It's only a small relief considering there's small fighters out there with all of these upgrades.
Well, I'll make sure to start looking for any... I'll start pointing out any holes I found in the specs. Hopefully it didn't fill any of them that was found in the original plans. Oh, sir, who should I contact with this information?
You should probably send it to one Commander Regov.
Regov of the...
Everest.
Everest. Sorry, Captain, I'm mainly focused on this ship. I have a hard time remembering everyone out here in the 10th.
Ensign, you are aware that he was a senior staff member on this ship while you were serving on it.
Not particularly, Captain. That's part of why I'm actually going to be moving my standard procedure up to the bridge. I've realized I've become rather isolated from the rest of the staff, and that's made remembering everyone beyond yourself a little more difficult than I had anticipated.
I'm flattered.
Well, you're the captain. You're the most important person here. Forgetting the captain's tantamount to suicide, career or other.
Someone's already headed for Lieutenant Junior grade.
I'm no kiss-up, Captain, just practical.
Maybe I'll follow your lead, and with a little practicality, I could become an admiral soon.
I just have to beat one or two more court-martials, and you'll be able to pat everyone else on the back about it later. What? Every good captain's had like one or two court-martials about one thing or another.
I'll have to remind you, Ensign, that you instigated that.
Captain?
You made the original complaint.
As was my duty? I don't understand.
It's nothing.
Very good, Captain. Is there anything else you wanted to speak with me about? I should probably head back and get this report sorted out.
Nope, everything seems to be in order, Chief.
Oh, one last thing, Captain. When are we going to schedule the exams? I know we were going to be doing something about that, but I don't know when to schedule it for it. Should I speak with the commander about that? Because that seems more like her problem than yours.
There are many times when I wish I could make things that are my problem hers, but this is my problem. I will notify you when it's time. Until then, you can feel a little of the apprehension that comes with being an officer who has vague orders.
Wouldn't be the first time, Captain, except now I get a pip on my collar. Well, not really a pip, but you know.
Yeah, you'll fill it in someday.
Captain?
Well, you're dismissed.
Aye, sir. I turned and head back to engineering briefly before heading back to the...
Mission completed. I'm gonna walk up to the bridge unless I have to run into anybody else.
No, doctor's on the bridge, as far as I know. Not that we need to talk.
Captain, daily security briefing.
There sure are a lot of y'all in this hallway.
Captain, this is the bridge. Did you have your morning coffee?
I'm gonna walk over to Sarek and grab the pad and start looking over it. Anything I should be looking for, Lieutenant?
Nothing of any importance. There was one verbal argument that escalated beyond standard procedural norms. It was satisfied without demarcation.
What are the ranks of the officers?
These were commissioned. I'm sorry. What are they called when they're not actually officers? When they're like
Non-commissioned.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Or enlisted.
they were enlisted crewmen, two security attaches that were having an argument about the recent contact with the Borg. However, I put it to rest.
This is
Besides that, there is a broken door panel on Cargo Bay 4. I sent that to engineering. And there is a missing bottle of aged whiskey from Earth. Both the crewman who is in possession of it as well as the thief are yet unknown, but I will have them found by the end of the day.
there does seem to be an unruliness that is spreading among the lower ranks. I'm not a fan of that. I wanna see some corrections made.
Certainly. May I advise that you supplement the discipline with an activity that can burn off perhaps the combination of tension from the last few missions as well as the the strangeness and claustrophobia of being out away from what you know. And I know that's a strange way of saying it, claustrophobia, but it seems people are almost acting like they've been through a long winter.
I dare not ask what Klingons do to get it out of their system.
I wouldn't be able to tell you, Captain. However, I do think there is a database in the Science Council, or perhaps xenobiology in the med bay, that might be able to satisfy your curiosity.
You get a message in your mind, she's not wrong.
What about having the crew led through intense exercise? We can have it facilitated by the senior staff. That should work it out of them.
Sure. I'm sure the more rigorous and planned and methodical it is, the more they'll enjoy it, Captain. And she kind of gives you a weird, look.
Lieutenant Calum.
Yes, sir.
Would you come here a moment?
Sure, sir.
Lieutenant, it's been brought to my attention that the crew needs to work some things out.
Oh boy.
I decided that to help them, you could lead, let's say, the alpha shift of the upper decks through calisthenics in one of the hangar bays. You up for it?
You'll have to define calisthenics, sir.
If they have any fight or mischief in them after you're done, I'll have consider it a failure.
Ah! Is it right if some of them wind up in the sick bay, sir?
No, Lieutenant, it is not all right.
Understood, sir.
I still need them to do their jobs.
Yes, sir.
Dismissed. Was there anything else, Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Well,
Well,
Go
maybe
ahead.
there's one thing. I just wanted to say that your first test in battle that I've witnessed, you did a fine job, Captain.
well, we can only hope it'll be the same next time.
Yes, though I hope we're a little bit more prepared if that's something that we could face again. I would like to have your permission to form a security subcouncil to discuss strategies if we find ourselves in that sort of situation again.
You can definitely lead an effort to develop technologies and weapons that would help us fight them. I've never heard of a weapon designed by council that's ever been worth anything, though.
Well, I was thinking less technological, more long-term strategy. What are the procedures when a Federation ship is captured and you try to recover it? Besides going for the bridge crew, what is the priority of saving the members? Do we have a way of documenting or planning out an escape route? Do we have internal blueprints of the layout of spheres? Anything like this, just so we're a little bit more informed when we're making our decisions. I often find that when people have a chance to sit and think about what they've been through, they often find a few things that could have been done differently. And sometimes, if you get them all in the room, some interesting ideas develop.
Let's keep it more practical. Too many of those, most of what you just discussed is the arena of the Admiralty, and you have a long way to go before you get to that stage. Let's focus on practical weapons, squad level tactics. Maybe if you involve a couple of engineers, ship weapons, but leave the larger questions to the Admiralty.
Is that the standard procedure in such matters within Starfleet?
They have a greater understanding of the resources at their disposal to implement such tactics and large-scale weapons and maneuvers, just as you have a greater view into the tactical theater, and I have a greater view into the operational theater. They have a greater view into the strategic theater. So those strategic questions are best left to them.
I will. Shit, I'm missing the word. I'll take your word for it.
I'll take that under advisement.
There you go.
A general rule of thumb: if it takes more than 100 people, it's probably too much. Likewise, if it takes more than 2,000 or 3,000, it's above my pay grade.
I will keep that in mind, Captain. Permission to continue my investigation into the rowdy whiskey theft, Captain?
See that you have it confiscated.
Certainly.
And
She
Go
winks
ahead
at the
it-
captain.
go ahead and have it added to the ship's inventory. You never know when some old admiral who has a problem with alcohol may show up. It may become useful.
Oh, understood. She kind of breaks discipline for a second at that. Understood. She kind of snaps.
You get a very weak, just kind of acknowledged salute, and the captain walks to the chair.
Right. And Takarik leaves the bridge.
I think the doctor is good.
All right.
He's
And
at
of
the
course-
science station.
And of course, Ensign Calum is headed down to Cargo Bay 2.
Do the calisthenics.
Yeah, quote unquote calisthenics.
Oh, also there is an application for Neandra for ship security after her maternity leave. Either the captain has it or Takarik has it, whichever would have been applicable.
Let's say that primary approval is to Carrick's, and then the commander can make a decision, and I'll make a decision. We'll make it very bureaucratic. But you start with Carrick.
Yeah.
It's Starfleet. We would not have it any other way.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, that's it for the doctor.
Gotta make sure you sign your I-36s and your B-12 form.
And don't forget your ID-10Ts.
But yeah. Until the big event, he really doesn't have anything at the moment.
All right. Well, you will get a little message in your pad inbox that Takarik is requesting an interview with you as a character recommendation interview, and she's also gonna proceed to Cargo Bay 2 as well to inspect that lock, knowing that they're designing, or they're planning something there. So she's gonna meet you there.
Sorry, I like how Takarik needs a character witness when Takarik witnessed her snap the neck of a Borg drone with her bare hands.
I mean, if anything, that suggests she's not adjusted very well and has anger issues.
She was also pregnant, so yeah, good possibility.
Yeah. So if you're whoever's headed down to Cargo Bay 2, who's doing the calisthenics program?
That's Calum.
Okay. So I'm gonna meet Calum there and look over the lock and then wait for him to enter and stop him.
And we could go ahead and jump up to there.
Yes, Lieutenant Takarik?
What did you have in mind for your exercise regimen?
It's just something to get the heart pumping and possibly a little bit of adrenaline flowing. Get it out of their system.
I would
Sure.
like to sign up.
Ooh. Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't anticipate any trouble. It will be a satisfying experience, I'm sure.
Alrighty then. Well, I don't know how well you are versed in Bajoran hand-to-hand tactics, but I guess we'll find out.
Very well, actually. What form did you learn?
Oh, please. The one formed by, out of character, I don't remember the Bajoran forms, but I'm just going to...
I just bullshitted that, so just
Oh,
run
okay.
with it.
A form, basically known as... Hold on. Yeah, let's go with that. The Cisco.
New.
Yes.
You really should go back and study the old ways that were done during the Resistance. The amount of actual combat experience that contributed to the development of those styles were very different than the much more sport-like quality. It might be similar to the difference between mixed martial arts or taekwondo in earthling culture compared to some of the combat martial arts that existed during times of war.
Well, there is one old form that is similar to the human's version of Hapkido.
Let me guess. Go ahead. I know this one.
Okay.
Which now there's two names for it. Tell me which one you know it by.
One that I know it by, and personally I don't even know because I took Taekwondo, so I'm gonna say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I don't know this. I was thinking there's a form similar to the what is it? Jeet Kune Do. It was developed by a martial artist in the 19th century, was it? 18th? I'm not sure.
Understandable, Lieutenant. Well, if you wouldn't mind a demonstration, I'm pretty sure if we can get some pads down real quick, I can give you a slight demonstration of Jiu-Jitsu.
It would be much appreciated. And then she awkwardly juts out her hand to offer to shake.
And Caleb will be nice and shake it. And once we get the pads down, I don't know how long we've got for roleplay, Ed, but literally once we get the pads down, Takarik is the first one as a demonstration with me as the class leader.
Yeah, we're not going to roleplay the calisthenics.
I try.
All right. I think that's scene.
But yeah, there's a bunch of throwing people around and everything.
Yep. Takarik's all into it.
See, the problem is
anyone else have any scenes?
Some minor stuff on the bridge.
All right. We'll head back to the bridge with Commander Prex.
So she kind of leans in towards the captain and goes, "Are you sure calisthenics is the right? We have been in deep space for quite a while. Maybe we should do a schedule shore leave for the crew at some point in the future."
What in the column of things that includes petty theft and arguing with fellow
I'm not arguing
officers
with you.
did you decide was applicable for shore leave?
I'm saying to prevent there's the natives are getting kind of
Restless.
Thank you.
Yep.
Captain, maybe some R&R might be good for them. We have been in deep space for quite a while, and with our last encounter, probably shook most of the crew up a bit.
When we come to an appropriate place for R&R to take place, I will approve R&R for those with records that have been cleaned for 6 months, prioritizing those who have received any kind of mention from the department heads. But these natives that are restless, that are stealing and arguing and fighting, they can continue to stay on the ship until they've fixed it.
I expect nothing less, Captain.
So, you want to lead one of these classes, Commander? I'm sure you'd have a lot of takers.
Your humor is quite funny, Captain. I think Lieutenant Calum has things handled.
I don't know. I can see it now. Every crewman on the lower decks would sign up for a class exercise with old Commander Prax. He's getting a lot of chuckles out of this.
Oh,
She is not
I just
abused.
I just picked out the one word you shouldn't have said, and if you were anybody but the captain, you would have got slapped.
What did I say?
Old.
Oh. That was said ironically because she's not.
Yeah, but you mentioned that tool. Never mind. I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, continue.
Maybe you should run a class, Captain. I'm sure they like to understand some Betazoid techniques.
Betazoids prefer to exercise the mind rather than the body.
Well,
And
maybe some mental conditioning is in order.
I tell you what, Commander, if you do, I will.
You're on.
I'll make a competition. Oh, there it is, Commander. I have one. I've come by a bottle of whiskey to bet on whoever gets the most people to sign up.
Intriguing. Could use one to replace the bottle I lost on the engine.
the captain just kind of, at the mention of the name of the ship, the captain just kind of sits back in the chair and doesn't say anything.
So out of character, the doctor is staying out of this member measuring contest. So
Altera will probably step into the bridge around this time and walk over to the engineering station.
Okay.
Captain, Commander?
Ensign? And the captain's gonna walk over. So, you gonna use the op station, or are you going to reprogram it?
Captain? Just taking up my post here with engineering for now. I'm still looking into whether I want to cross-train into operations. But for now, we'll see how personnel goes back at command.
Oh, it's open if you want it.
How do you mean?
We have no operations officer right now. You really do need to refresh your memory on the senior staff, don't you?
Yes, Captain. I think I'll get a little bit of practical experience then, since nothing seems to be breaking down there. Plus, I tap my ear. I can keep in tabs with the engineering. By the way, Captain, is there an unscheduled calisthenics lesson for the enlisted? I say as I start moving over to ops.
Oh, it's not unscheduled. I think, let's say you'll run a session 6 hours from now with the engineering staff.
Okay, Captain. Start tapping at ops.
I think you should be able to handle it just fine, Ensign.
I'm a lot more of a classroom crewman officer now, I suppose. Acting officer, a classroom officer than a field officer, to put it that way. Although I suppose I'm aboard ship now, so.
Well, a good officer can do both.
Aye, sir.
The captain's going to return to the chair and look up how much time is left until we get to the system.
All right. Yeah, if no one has any other scenes to run, I think we could skip ahead a bit. So Chief is at ops now?
Yes, with the earpiece tuned.
I guess Ensign now?
Yes. Is at ops, but has the earpiece tuned to the engineering staff in case they need anything.
All right, cool.
Then I guess wasn't the doctor there? So I guess I had moved to a science station on the bridge. Anyway. I was just confused. That's
cool.
all.
Tactical is available. You could take that. To Kark somewhere else.
You really want the doctor to take tactical? All right. Doctor will take tactical.
Please.
Captain, we're coming up on Theeds 4.
On screen?
Right.
On screen now.
On the view screen, Theeds 4 is a M-class planet with a few oceans with continents that, from your initial scans and from what you could see, is mostly made up of grasslands and a few prairies. And there are a few forests that kind of dot the northern and southern parts of the planet. And there are cities positioned near major waterways and tributaries, as expected from an inhabited planet.
I stand up and I motion the commander to follow me, and I walk over to the science station. Doctor, let's start scanning. Let's start with humanoids and work our way down.
Yes, sir. And I do that.
All right, Doc, it's reason or control using your medicine or science, difficulty 1.
Okay, difficulty 1. Okay. Xenobiology for a focus.
Sure.
Alright. I mean, it's me a focus. I don't have sensor operations, so why not?
Cool.
Is there a ship assist?
Oh, yes.
Sensor science.
Probably, yeah. Or sensors medicine.
No.
And then we get a bonus momentum too.
Yeah,
Yep.
to spend in the question. Cool. Where are you, Doc? There you are. Boom.
There's about 10 million souls on that planet. They all seem to be one species. Like most civilizations, populated around the city complexes. Any thoughts for questions? I'm trying to think.
I guess we should locate the largest city, and probably we should locate.
I was wondering if we could get the level of tech from this planet. Since this is technically kind of sort of supposed to be first contact.
That will require a separate roll.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
That's why I only thought of that one question, because I think it has to be related to the people.
And the
Okay.
captain is correct in that.
Okay, well then we'll use the captain's question.
What was
Locate the biggest city?
Okay. They are the largest concentration of inhabitants is around the intersection of 2 rivers.
And I go. According to this, the largest city is right here, and he points kind of towards the screen.
Would you say a capital?
I mean, there's a good possibility, but a lot of major cities on a lot of worlds are this size and not capitals, but there's a good possibility, Captain.
Well, I guess your advice here is wanted, Commander, but the next step is probably to establish their technological level.
Agreed.
Sounds like a job for you, Ensign.
Aye, sir.
That may be a job for the doc. I don't know.
All right, so we're trying to figure out technological levels.
Yeah, that
Yes.
would most likely be an engineering check.
All right, so yeah, this would be reason and engineering or reason and science, difficulty 2. Assisted by the ship. Sensors and something.
Engineering.
Yeah.
I'll grab a momentum.
All right, down to 1. So you got 2 back out of that. And I have to send this to the chief. Boom.
Is your name actually Terra Altera?
Tier Altera, yeah. Captain, looks like it has tech equivalent of about, let's say, Earth's Renaissance period or so. Seeing something else here. There's some advanced technology, centuries more advanced than anything else on the planet. This tech seems to be spread out in the cities. This is odd. Usually I wouldn't see such a technological divergence in a civilization to be uniform to some degree.
Anything suggest warp capable?
Would I be able to get the higher resolution free question for that?
Yes, you can.
I will ask that question.
Wow, that spelling was horrible. Go with it.
Scanning further. I'm not seeing anything space capable. So not even rocketry or anything like that.
What's the nature of the advanced technology? We're talking centuries. Are we talking circa Earth 2000?
Spend momentum for that, or is that a new roll?
I can give you that. But I will take the momentum though.
That can't be right.
Out with it.
Verifying.
The captain's gonna come lean over your shoulder because now he's curious.
I don't believe this, Captain. They don't have. They're up to 24th sec. It's 24th century tech. It's current tech. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would they have that level of technology without any warp capability? It's the technologies line up. The energy production, the use of certain crystals. Seeding, maybe, Captain. I don't know.
I'm thinking contamination.
Aye, sir.
Commander, who do you think would be the most likely contaminant?
Ferengi have been known to interfere with other cultures without warp capability. There are another number of species, but the Ferengi are not likely capable of something like this since they have not ventured this far out.
I'm thinking an additional
Could be the
question,
Orions.
GM, of spending a momentum to see if this conforms with any known technology like Ferengi tech, Cardassian tech, Federation.
I will take the question.
This is alien design, doesn't conform with any Ferengi schematics I've ever seen, or any known ones I've ever seen. Completely alien. But then again, no, the energy signatures don't match. I don't know who did this, but it's no one we.
I'm gonna pull the commander to the side. Commander, I'm thinking we should scan for planetary defenses just to be safe. And then maybe we should put more investigation into this, with maybe even possible planetary side operations.
Agreed. It is possible that they developed this technology on their own. There have been many species that have been encountered by other vessels that seem very primitive at first glance, but had evolved technology even beyond our scale, and choose to live a life of mediocrity.
I think we should probably let's check on their planetary defenses to see if we're safe, and then I think maybe a senior staff meeting.
Very good, sir.
Lieutenant Takark.
He is currently in his calisthenics class, so let me go ahead and give the chirp.
Yep.
Hi, Captain.
Go ahead and... There's a senior staff meeting. Let's have you in the ready room and as soon as possible, and bring the if you happen to pass the helmsman, bring him too.
Understood, Captain.
And then I will, well, let's see. So my reason is pretty bad, so I probably shouldn't scan, even if he does give us reason security. So that's probably, we're gonna have to wait for Takark unless you can do it, Commander.
I can do. Do you want to do a scan on the planetary? I mean, I can attempt it. He might have better numbers than me, though. Or her character. Well, his character. Yeah. So, what is that? What am I rolling for that?
You're just trying to see if there's anything in space or anything?
Well, like, I'm thinking, like, any weapons that could harm the ship.
Surface to orbit missiles, orbital. Well, they can't do orbital because they're not space capable.
But, yeah, weapons capable of firing into space.
Yeah, there's no roll for that. I'll just give the info.
Sensors are showing that there is nothing capable of getting into space, Captain. It's just as what the chief informed us on their technology level.
Yeah, so like they barely got gunpowder weapons.
Okay.
Well, like it's like the technology level straight up Renaissance era.
As one of the questions from earlier, I was just thinking, would I be able to ask if the advanced tech conforms with anything that, like, it's... Well, I wouldn't. Never mind.
So they probably don't have phasers? But, I mean, they have advanced tech, but it sounds like it's pretty selective.
Ooh, how about we look into what type of advanced tech is it? Is it advanced power generation or advanced water purification? The scope of the advanced tech.
I mean, yeah, we can. Ensign, we can have the. We can just have the senior staff meeting here, so y'all can do scans as we ask questions. Why don't you look into it, Ensign?
Aye, Captain. So yeah, Ed, I'm looking into determining that if it to narrow down what the advanced tech is, or what if it's like a certain segment of the industry, or if it's spread out.
Roll me control engineering difficulty 2. Assisted by the ship.
Could I wrangle a reverse engineering focus?
No.
Yeah, I think I'll spend a momentum just to be sure.
Okay, guys, down to 0. And you roll a 1. Ship, please.
And that's what's the ship rolling?
Sensors engineering, I think. Yep, 3 momentum.
I just remembered I have studious too. Oh well.
I think that's what you were scanning for.
Yeah, you're right. Captain, it appears technology seem to be they're just small devices that are spread out over the city. Self-contained power systems. I don't see what their purpose is. They just seem to be generating energy signatures to some unknown purpose. One of my freebie questions I'm thinking is, are these things hidden from like view, or like hidden in foundations or away from normal traffic?
That was in line with the question I was about to ask. If anyone has suggestions, I think everybody is in the same vicinity now.
Yeah, I'll take that question for the free one.
Yeah, because I have there's the ship's freebie, and then there's the studious one I get.
God, so you should have been doing sensor scans a long time ago.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if you change to ops, wouldn't that be 3 free ones?
No,
Yeah. It would. Because he gets 1 for the position, 1 for studious, 1 for the high res.
that's true. Yep.
You could save all the momentum.
That's almost like cheating at that point.
It's called specializing. No. The devices seem to be in. That's strange. They're inside homes and various businesses. And not exactly hidden. Assuming my scans are correct.
Well, if my understanding of the Prime Directive is correct, the rules go out the window if they've been contaminated, but the mere sign of technology isn't evidence enough of contamination, especially if they're unaware of it.
Captain, it might be some sort of observation device that we would use. I mean, that's a speculation, but
Could be. You would probably need to send an away team to find out under strict guidelines.
Could you just beam one up?
I'll defer to the chief on this one, but I think we want to avoid any violent reactions, and we want to avoid anyone accidentally seeing transporter technology.
Well,
Also, they could
just
they could also be in the middle of using it if it's not a hidden piece of technology, so that could frighten them if it just vanishes out of their hands.
There is plenty of mythology that could be used to justify such an event and make it plausible at least long enough for collective memory to forget about it. I actually find that much less problematic than sending an away team down, which is of mixed race that isn't theirs, and trying to explain how they got there.
At the same time, you're also under the assumption that these are superstitious people. We know nothing about these people.
They're not but 100 years from the difference in technology where humans came up with the Enlightenment. They could have already achieved the Enlightenment.
Captain, were there not religious institutions of quite some power during that period of Earth history?
Yes,
excuse me, Captain Sirs, we might want to move the ship so we can't be seen by a telescope. I just realized they might be able to see us if they look up.
That would complicate matters, sir.
Let's calculate the most likely magnification of large telescopes from Earth history and move out to a distance at which we would be undistinguishable from a far space object. I think that's something the chief and the ensign or the lieutenant can work on.
Captain, I would just assume this planet has a moon, right? Just go around the moon.
It has 4 moons to be specific.
Dark side of a moon, Captain. I can put us behind it.
Because I'm afraid, Captain, right now we're just making a large amount of assumptions. They could have tech down there that could see us no matter at the edge of the solar system. We don't know. So if we're just not visible from the planet in general, might have a better chance.
Let's make it so, Lieutenant. Pick a large moon.
Aye, sir.
Preferably a solid one.
And you have no trouble finding one and navigating to the far side of it.
The far side of the moon, that is.
The dark side of the moon. Yep.
Doctor, I assume with enough scans you can accurately use prosthetics and manufactured clothing to conceal us?
Yeah. I don't see a problem with that, Captain.
You don't?
No, I have already made at least 3 of us look like Orions before. So I don't see how this would be much different. Unless they have multiple limbs. That may be tricky.
So, from what I'm hearing from the team, the things we need to establish are that the doctor can accurately make us appear to be of this species, and that we need to discover the nature of their involvement with this technology in order to decide whether first contact or isolation is best for them, and that at least according to the commander, and I am of this school of thought too, that an away team is the best way to accomplish that.
Ed, could I make some sort of roll to think about the rules and regulations of Starfleet regarding first contact in a situation like?
You would.
To what end?
To see what the barrier is to where we can make first contact. If advanced technology is the barrier, or if warp, or if specifically warp capability is the threshold where we can make.
Well, I could just tell you the thresholds because I think they're pretty common knowledge. But like if they made contact with you, you'd be able to talk to them. I think contamination would be another thing. Like if another spacefaring race made previous contact with them, then all bets are off as well. Obviously, space flight, warp space flight.
Okay,
Things like that.
that's what I was curious.
And there is also precedent in canon of this tactic as well.
Captain, I think it's in line with precedent in previous cases from what I'm trying to think of. Until we know for sure that someone else has actually talked to them, that's probably the safest bet we have under regulation.
Well, in such a tenuous circumstance, I would like an affirmative from at least the commanders that are present.
Aye, sir.
That's bold of you, Ensign. You just kind of get a smirk.
Thank you, Captain.
Although the ensign does have a point, because as long as we aren't seen as outsiders in the sense that we are, there shouldn't be an issue with gaining intelligence.
And I assume
As long as
you're
we
on the
can-
same side. That was aimed at you, Prax.
As long as we can, the away team observes protocol and just for observation and study purposes only, and non-interference, we should be in line with any protocol.
Well, then I think, Doctor, you should do some research into if you can disguise us and start working on those disguises.
Yes, so I would like to expand on my search, or my scan of the denizens of the planet.
Right. Let's go. Controller, reason, and medicine. Let's make this difficulty 2.
Xenobiology and genetics for focuses.
No, because I think at this point you're just trying to get like a picture of what they look like.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend a momentum for a third dice.
Right down to 2.
Yep.
Is this a center scan?
Yes.
I'm going to re-roll at 0.
Oh, you have cautious.
Cautious medicine, yeah.
Cool. You get 2 back, so you get 4. And yeah, so you're able to get your high resolution scanners to scan the planet, and get a general idea of what they look like. They're your basic humanoid, so you don't have to do much. It's just basically small prosthetics to like the nose area. Like a little ridge on the nose.
It always is, isn't it?
So it's so like Bajorans, okay.
Yeah.
Genders. I'm also looking at genders.
Yeah, there's not much difference.
Okay, so male, female. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what I could do with that, I could either have you make rolls to try to get the away team to coincide, or I can let you purchase that with momentum.
How much momentum?
Probably just 2, opportunity costs for that.
Her?
No, just period.
Yeah, because I was going to ask about the away team, because some of us will need more extensive surgery than the others, but I'll just spend the momentum and not have to worry about it.
I think we'd have to ask particularly about Takark.
That was where I was going with that. Yeah. I'd have to get rid of her ridges, and I don't know how happy she'd be about that.
I think skull surgery might be off the table. I mean, that may be a GM question.
They usually do quite a bit with Worf, if nothing else, to make him wear a hat.
You could always pull the Spock in A Voyage Home and just put a big fat bandana around her whole head.
I mean, that would still leave. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only concern. But if I can spend momentum to do it, I'm gonna do it.
So if the away team includes the Carrick, we could do the opportunity cost for the ones that look more, for the crew members that look more human, and I will say that you could potentially do like a hooded get up thing, but it will give a complication to you for the mission as well.
I think, Lieutenant, you're gonna have to not be part of the team.
Alrighty.
I tried. Sorry.
Don't worry when you get your butts in trouble. I'm gonna have to come get you.
Request permission to replace him on the away team, sir.
I think me and the commander have to decide on what the away team is first.
Yeah.
Suggestions? Definitely a science and medical presence needs to be required for this mission. A nun outfit.
That's a house.
Would work too.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
that's a noble woman outfit.
Right.
Yeah, that is a noble. But I'm saying that nun outfit could work too.
That is an atrocious hat.
It's at its peak, really.
Right.
and because of how ugly it is, it's going to
Awful.
come back in style in about 5 years.
Right.
You're going to be seeing that at the Emmy soon.
but okay. Okay, so the doctor is almost definitely going.
And Altera's going, apparently.
Okay.
3 and 3 is probably a good setup for this.
And then Caleb.
I might leave. Commander, you can debate me on this one, but I know I should not go on the planet, but with my greater diplomatic background, if we have to talk our way out of something, I might have a smoother tongue than you.
Captain, allow me to respectfully burst your bubble, but I came from the same schools and family you did, and it would be against regulations to let you go.
Can I make a roll to convince them?
Against mine?
Sure. GM willing.
Yeah. To convince Starix, or Dr. Starix.
And I'm going to use doctor's orders for my counter argument.
I don't see how that would be a doctor's order that the captain has to stay on the ship.
Well then, I'll do command, that's fine.
Because it's not like he's not medically unfit.
That's true. Alright, and diplomacy as a focus?
Yep.
And no, I won't spend any momentum. I'll be nice. It'll be easy for you to beat, I'm sure.
You say that, and then I get two complications. I'm also going to use diplomacy.
And
I
watch
feel
my argument be mute.
I want to use one of my values because I'd never get to do it, but I would feel so guilty if I did that, so I will. I'd feel dirty.
And you still worked out.
So, Dr. Starix, you, based on the traditions of Betazoid, defer to the ruler of your house.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I won't let you guys bank any momentum on that, though.
That's fine.
So cheesy.
Captain, it is highly against protocol for you to go down on a away mission, especially when we haven't verified if there's a threat on the planet or not. And you've always told me to look after my own career. And this is me looking after my own career by telling you that you should not go on the planet surface on the away team.
Take that, Captain Starix.
Commander, if I...
Yes, Chief? Or, well, Ensign.
There is some precedent for captains going on non-hostile landings, especially when we have such a technological advantage. It's entirely possible that the captain isn't in any particular danger. Previous captains in the past have been able to do so. Of course, if the captain was under direct risk, I imagine my understanding of protocol is that you'd be authorized to beam up the captain in the event that the captain was in peril. Is my recommendation, sir.
Proof that even in the 24th century there are rule Nazis.
He got me court-martialed, or she got me court-martialed. She can get me onto that planet.
This is recompense.
Obviously, Captain, I am at your discretion on this matter, but I will formally protest. In my log.
Well, what must be must be. Doc, let's see what we can do about those prosthetics.
All right, so who's going
Very
on the
well.
away team then? What was decided?
The doctor, the ensign, the lieutenant, and the captain. Sorry, I had to get used to the new ranks.
That is 4. And we were suggested 3 and 3.
Yeah, you had left the lieutenant out of it.
Because Caleb was going as backup security, I guess.
Suggestion: if anyone has a decent engineering, I might be able to just assist from the ship.
Not I.
I think Caleb does.
Caleb has a 4.
I
Yeah.
could assist from the ship.
We'll do that then. Ensign, I think the lieutenant can handle any minor engineering tasks that may arise.
Aye, sir. And we'll be bringing. I imagine you'll be bringing out communicators as secret ones, of course.
Yes, let's we'll each take down Doctor, and we're gonna need enough clothing to hide this, but a tricorder, a standard phaser, and a communicator. No other forms of identification, I think, though.
I don't feel comfortable leaving the ship without my medical kit. But
Can you do you feel as though you can disguise it or hide it properly with just clothing on your person?
I don't see why I couldn't clip it to the back of my belt and just hide it with robes.
I think that's appropriate.
Just in case anybody gets hurt while we're down there.
You wouldn't want to depend on primitive medical care.
Our doctor can do anything with probably just a stick and a little bit of dirt.
I have taken survival medicine. I do not find it palatable, but I can accomplish it, yes.
You're right.
Oh, sorry.
I probably should let him take some equipment before he amputates something. Lieutenant may come back with only one arm if we don't let him take his kit.
At that, Lieutenant Caleb's gonna look at you and go, God, I hope not.
All right, so we got the doc, we got Lieutenant Caleb, and we got the captain. Am I correct in that away team?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you were using the 2 momentum to get the
Disguise us, yeah.
Yep. Then Doc, roll me, since you said you're hiding a med kit.
Yep.
Roll me. Let me pull up a sheet. Probably. What would that be? Presence. Let's go presence security, I think.
Hide something?
What's that?
To hide something?
Yeah, and
It's control. It's actually control
okay,
security.
control. Yeah. We'll go control security, and then this is just in case I need to do an opposed check later. So like I already know what you rolled to hide it.
Oh, okay. By the
So-
way,
so-
the captain and I both have contacts. because our eyes are weird.
Yeah.
For different reasons, but they're still weird.
Yeah, just in case it ever comes up.
Yeah,
this
I'm
way I already
spending
know.
a momentum for a third dice. And sure, let's go. There you
Cool.
go.
All right, so yeah, I will use the difficulty 3 to spot a medkit if it is relevant.
Yep, I'll be right back.
Would it be possible to tune my earpiece to the communicators they're going to have with them and basically audio listen into what's going on around them?
We can do live feed, can't we?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Open comms is kind of standard protocol for away teams. So yeah, I believe if you guys are ready to beam down to the planet. And you spent the momentum, so I think you're down to 1, right?
Yep.
Cool. We will go ahead and...
Can we
What's
say
that?
we're in vaguely Renaissance-ish clothes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you guys are on the transporter pad, and we'll go ahead and beam you down.
Should have probably specified where we're beaming down to.
I'm just going to put you where I was going to anyway.
Oh, that's good.
Because I'm assuming you were going to the capital, so...
Yeah. I just didn't, since I didn't say anything, I didn't want to end up in a field 200 miles from anything.
All right, then I'm going to go to the next scene, so you guys are out of momentum. All right. So you guys beam into the city, the one that sits by the meeting of two rivers. Surrounding the outskirts of the town is like a vast prairie. And all of the city's architecture looks what you would expect from a Renaissance period building. And all the people are just kind of going about their business, doing a normal day. You guys were beamed in kind of like an alley, so you didn't have to worry about being found out.
Lieutenant, let's scan for the nearest device.
Aye, sir.
And I'm gonna
back.
gonna motion to the doctor to help kind of use our bodies to conceal anything that the ensign might do, or the lieutenant might do.
All right, so you're trying to scan for the device?
Yeah.
Control with science or control security difficulty 2.
Okay.
Not even a second.
That's a difficulty 2, right?
Yeah, you did.
That's...
I was about to remark, he said difficulty 2, and Caleb didn't even think once about threat or momentum or anything.
I have
Bam.
a 16, okay?
He's confident.
I think Caleb might send you the stuff.
Snap, I completely forgot you do that.
Role play, guys. Role play. And I got you guys at 1 momentum. You guys have been getting a lot of crits.
Captain, there's literally one in every small cluster of buildings, apparently. I'm getting hundreds of them all around the city.
Well, let's head to the nearest one. And since we have open comms, so I don't look like I'm talking to air, I'm gonna look at one of them and say, cracks. Let's go ahead and monitor the area that Calum is saying we're heading to for any awkward activity.
So he doesn't seem crazy. I nod in acknowledgement.
Understood, Captain.
Two houses down on the left.
Okay, I'll lead the way.
And you guys make your way to the house. And there's really, well, there's people walking by the house, but there's like no one really in front of it, and no one's really paying that much attention to you. They're all still going about their business.
I knock on the front door.
There is no answer to the door. Knock.
I want to examine the lock.
Uh,
Or actually,
So it's not locked. The door is not locked. It's a standard door. It's open.
then I'm gonna go inside.
All right, and you open the door and it just opens up to, like a modest house. It has like the single room with a kitchen, a little fireplace, stairs leading upstairs for what you assume are like bunks. And there doesn't seem to be anyone inside this house.
Lieutenant and Doctor, I think y'all should look into the device. I'm scope out the entrances and keep an eye out.
Alright, give me a second.
Very well, Captain.
I'll make sure the door is shut, and I'll be looking outside of entrances and exits to cover us.
And I'm gonna do the one thing he didn't think about and do an empathic scan of the immediate area.
And I'm gonna start surreptitiously running my tricorder over the walls, trying to locate this device.
So the device is actually located up the stairs, and you're just kind of following your tricorder scans up the stairs, and sitting on what looks to be a table is a small red cube with vacuum-like tubes coming out of it.
Captain?
What is it?
Second floor. I've got it. It's weird looking. Is there any type of engineering roll I can make to figure out what it is?
Reason engineering difficulty 3.
Ah, crud.
Maybe take some advice on that from a scientific perspective from the doctor? I don't know.
Yeah, I could assist if needed.
Could I assist from where I am?
No.
Pop determination precise to a fault.
Ooh.
Sure.
That's
You got-
3.
Yep, you got 3.
Okay, and for me it would be reason science.
Yeah.
Okay. Four.
All right, cool. So you guys are up to 2 momentum, and I sent you guys what you got from the scan.
Yeah, Captain, on an engineering perspective, it seems capable of receiving and translating some type of coded message. Almost looks like a DNA scanner, kind of.
Huh. It's funny you should say that. Huh. That's exactly what it is. It seems capable of receiving messages and then turning transmissions into DNA sequences. Huh. That's brilliant.
Wait, so it receives a transmission and it can create DNA.
It basically
In a sense.
translates it. It basically translates it into DNA pairs, apparently.
Which, in a sense, is its own language.
Is there any like small? I'm going to use the Star Trek term isolinear chips nearby that I can plug into this, like a transmission that was stored or something.
No. It is
Dang it.
just the cube with the vacuum tube sticking out.
Okay.
Where is everyone at in the room?
I'm
I'm
downstairs checking entrances.
keeping an empathic lookout and am examining the.
All right, Captain.
I don't-
Outside the door, two people stop in front of it and they're communicating, and one of them starts to head toward the door, looking like he's about to open it and walk through it.
I'm going to move upstairs, motioning for everyone to hide behind something, and I'm gonna pull my phaser out and set it to stun with a good line of sight on the stairs. But I want to
Way to
stay. I
person
want to stay where I can
objectives.
look and see the stairs, but I don't want to be out in the open.
All right, so in the upstairs, there's really just like 3 beds and like a small little dresser and then that table.
Oh, is there anything downstairs that I would have seen that I could do that with?
Not really. It's pretty basic. You know,
I have
like tables, like a fireplace with a pot.
I have a question to avoid
Okay.
the unnecessary shooting. Can I spend 2 momentum to have the proper amount of sedative and a hypospray to hypospray him if he comes through the door?
That's not in a standard med kit.
Sedatives? Really? Okay.
It's really just like a basic hypospray for pain. And like a medical tricorder and dermal regenerator. That's really all that comes
Okay.
with med kit.
Then instead, I want to. I want to telepathically. Do I feel like they have enough time to get downstairs and get out of the building, or do I feel like there's just no time?
As you are trying to figure out what to do, the door opens and the man sees you.
I'm gonna grab him and attempt to incapacitate him.
All right, so before you do that, he says, who are you and why are you in my home? And then you can.
Oh, well then I won't act. I didn't know how he'd react. But hearing that, I'm gonna say, "Oh, sir, I've come from the local inspector's office. They said that there was an issue with the foundation of this building, and that that had to be checked out for occupant safety. Everything seems to check out. Would you mind just showing me around the outside of the house real quick?"
Why would the inspector's office be looking at my home? The inspector looks to ensure that we are following the decrees of the magistrate.
And the magistrate has recently become very concerned with personal safety. I mean, there's a city not 2 hours from here that had a small building collapse and kill several people.
But I have my piece of worship to the heavens displayed. I purchased one from the magistrate's office.
Yes, and those the worshiping those really does help, and even sometimes it'll prevent things, but it's not ours to question whether they work absolutely. And so to just verify that they're working, that's really my prerogative.
Very well. You may look at my home.
Well, why don't you show me around the outside? I just want to get some a real glean on the condition of the building on the outside. Maybe show me around the foundation.
He looks puzzled at why you'd be asking, but he starts to walk out.
And telepathically, I'm gonna say to the doctor, I'm gonna lead him around the front of the house. Get out the back now. And I'm gonna motion him to start showing me the front of the house.
And
So
he's showing it to you, not really understanding like what you're asking of him, but he's like, here's my house, the foundation.
So do you know the composition of that material there? Were you here when the house was built?
We do not question our. Sorry, say that again, Captain. I might not have understood you.
I asked him the composition of the foundation, if he was here when it was.
I don't build houses. I make clothing.
I do see you have fine taste there, sir. Been looking to get, been looking to spruce myself up. I may have to come down to your shop. What quarter of the city is that in?
It is just around the corner, sir. Surely someone from the magistrate's office could afford something from the command quarter.
Yes, the higher tastes in life, I'm one to be stoic. I like a good some more muted clothing, just to stay humble.
If that is your desire, sir, I'm sure I can help you out in that regard.
Have you traveled to the command quarter very often?
Just when I purchased my piece of worship to the heavens, we could only obtain it from the magistrate's office, and he has declared that all homes must have a piece. It took me half a year's earnings just to purchase this.
Let me ask you, have you ever personally met the magistrate?
Oh yes, the magistrate does walk freely around town.
Well, yes, I know that. I mean on a more personal level, though.
No, just in passing.
I may have, even being a long-time resident, I may have disoriented myself as I'm not that used to this part of the city. Could you point me towards the magistrate's office?
Oh, it's just down there, and he points to another section of the city which looks to be more nicely maintained.
Well, everything here looks in order. I think the magistrate would be confident in your safety. Your safety is his first concern.
Well, I appreciate that, sir, and we trust the magistrate fully.
Oh, if he's still in range, he gets the message in telepathic message. We're out.
Well, sir, I'll have to wish you a good day and a safe house.
Thank you, good sir. And he walks back into the house, closing the door.
I'm going to telepathically say to the doctor, I'm walking slowly down the main street. Come to me.
Yep, and the moment he passes by an alley, there's Caleb and the doctor just. I assume Caleb didn't leave the doctor, so.
Oh no. Well, actually, Caleb's got like his. If you want to visual picture. He's got his right knee bent, his foot's on the wall, his arms are crossed, and his right hand is tapping on his left arm.
Oh, yeah. So the doctor just kind of motions to the lieutenant, and as in, like, follow me, and yeah.
I think we're gonna have to go to a office of a magistrate. It seems he has quite the enterprise selling those objects y'all saw to every home as objects of worship. So it preliminary evidence is that they're probably not ready. The general population is probably not ready, but I think more investigation is warranted. This is probably someone contaminating.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that man didn't seem like he understood what y'all scanned at all. I don't even know that I could explain DNA to that man.
I mean, DNA is a fairly basic concept. You have, and he just goes on to a tirade on DNA.
That's all fine, Doctor. I think
Simple
the
stuff.
point. I think the point may have crossed you. Don't know that any of your students or anyone you've ever taught has had trouble with the concept of flight or like basic flight or basic engineering principles, let alone complex biological concepts.
That's true.
Although, with reference to you, Caleb, I'm sure he understands that going fast is fun.
And you guys are still walking as you're talking. And after a short time, you guys get to the nice part of the city. And there seems to be a larger building, still in the style of Renaissance style, but there seems to be a lot of people going in and out of this building. That's kind of in like the town center.
Well, it looks like we shouldn't have any trouble getting in.
I think maybe y'all can make a scan, and maybe we can call up to the ship and have them perform a scan just to see any particulars about this building.
All right, Doc.
Yeah. I'm going to find a back alley near the building where no one can see me.
Unfortunately, there's not really like a back alley. Like it's in like a square surrounded by like gardens and stuff. Like it's definitely like a high-profile building.
Hey, Doc. Stand in front of me for a second, will you?
Let's see if the ship can get it. I mean, we can try, Lieutenant, but maybe the ship might do it without us risking.
Fair enough.
That'd be better.
Captain to Commander,
Go ahead.
could you scan a very large structure that is within 40 meters of me in a very detailed scan and give me any information you can find? People, weapons, technology,
Understood.
and any
And
alien life signs that are out of the norm.
Understood. Ensign Altera, please perform a detailed scan where the current away team's the building that the away team is currently nearby.
Aye, Commander.
All right, so I'm going to make it a difficulty 0 task. However, each success you get will give you a more detailed result. Because the captain asked like a lot of questions, so we'll do one roll, and then the more successes, the more pieces of info I give.
Okay, I'm going to spend a moment.
Okay, down to 1. Oh, I should probably tell you what the stats are. Probably reason science.
Reason sign?
or security. Because he did ask.
I will take.
Because he did ask security type stuff.
Could the commander assist on on the security type questions?
Probably not an assist. The ships could though. It's already a difficulty 0, so I don't want to give you guys too much momentum.
It's only our job to ask.
Is this sensor security?
Yeah. Cool. So you guys are up to 6. So you get 5 things you get to ask the GM. Or so you get 5 results basically. So what do you want to know about the building?
I guess this would be the captain.
Well, I mean, it's open to the floor because everyone was involved.
Yeah, I mean, Carrick would say, is there modern tech? Is there advanced technology in that building, and what is the, are there force fields or security systems in place?
Oh, if we're going by the characters, the doctor would want scans of any unusual life forms other than the normal inhabitants and us.
Anything else? I'm forgetting. Weaponry, I think, was a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weaponry.
Yeah, for like defensive measures, force fields, weapons.
Okay, so what is the first question about the building?
Just getting myself organized, because.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, my vote for first question is between weapons and a non-standard alien.
First question, I will ask weaponry defensive measures, if any.
All right, those to me would be 2 questions. Scanning for weapons, scanning for defenses. Are 2 questions to me. I could take them, but...
We only had 3 other questions, I think, other than those, so...
I think defensive measures is more... Let's start there.
On the captain's word, defensive measures.
Standard doors. No other high-tech technology in terms of defenses. Just standard doors and windows and...
So they're either really cocky or they're not hiding anything.
Or they believe in a good old lock. Second question, I guess, is unusual life forms.
Similar to the race on the planet. And there's about a dozen in the building.
Oh, is there any way I could get clarification on if similar means they fit the average, or if similar means they're not the same but close?
As in they are.
They are the aliens. Yeah, okay.
Checking for advanced tech, I think, is our third question.
There is about a dozen or so of those devices inside this building.
This is the ship that's scanning, right?
Yes.
Okay, so on the bridge to Carrick, hearing that says, I think that's a cue. Perhaps we can beam one of these out of here if you can. The away team can make sure that it's out of sight, and we can have a chance to study it before we make a decision.
Seems prudent.
One question I'm thinking of is, Oh shoot! Never mind. I was gonna say we might want to try beaming them from there to there, but I don't think that'd be a great idea because then they're beaming from out.
I did have an idea, but
We
it's
have
kind of convoluted.
we have one more question or two more.
Was that
We
three?
asked three so far. Yeah,
So two.
that's three.
Oh,
more?
Yeah, go ahead. Mine doesn't involve questions.
From this, does anyone else have? I have a couple questions, unless someone else has one.
I don't. I think the floor is open.
I'm thinking, are there any guard patrol, regular guard patrols, or not guard patrols per se, but like people checking in on the devices on a regular basis, or is it just storage? Like no one's really checking on it on a regular.
You cannot. There's 3 people in close proximity to the devices, but you're not sure how close. So close proximity being about 10 meters.
So,
We could ask if there's copious amounts of precious metals or anything else that would suggest large amounts of currency. That might. I don't know that that's particularly helpful, but it kind of just confirms our suspicions that about the magistrate and hoarding cash or trying to make a buck.
we'll see. I also have a way to get the cubes without interfering the way people are trying to do.
Should we check for weapons though, in case any of them are armed?
What are we at? We're at 4, so
Yeah.
this is last one.
Yeah.
What's your suggestion, Doctor?
We get a scan of their currency, replicate it, and purchase one.
I was thinking I had that in mind, but I didn't know how to get the currency to us unless we walk. I guess we could walk away towards an alley.
Mm-hmm. It would take us no more than 30 minutes for the entire transaction, I think.
I think that's applicable.
And that way we don't interrupt their proper order and we can still study the technology.
So a question of can we get a scan of currency or various precious metals in the building?
Yes.
For replicator purpose.
Yes. And I'll make it an opportunity cost to replicate the gold. Or the currency. Probably an opportunity cost of 1.
That's
I think we do that.
fine with me, yeah.
Cool. So you guys are down to 5, and the ship reports the currency is ready for beam down.
I think we'll go to we'll look around nearby for any place that would look safe to do clandestine transport.
Sure. You find like a close cluster of buildings, like a few homes and shops that you kind of just wedge yourself between almost.
We stand around in a circle, it beams in the middle of us.
And there's about, like a little sack, and there's probably about 20 currency bits in it.
I'll take that, and I'm gonna grab the cash and strap it to my belt. I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but I know how young lieutenants are when they get a buck. Can't afford you to be spending it all over town.
What are you talking about, Captain?
Just let him have it, Lieutenant. Just let him have it.
I understand. I was planning on staying behind the door anyway and making sure nobody tried to take him out. In case he messed up.
Well, I think one person needs to be involved in the transaction. One person maybe as backup and to kind of scope out the building, and one person on the outside to check for incoming guards or Any other threats? Is the y'all think that's an accurate plan?
Yeah.
I think probably. I mean, Doctor, considering our ability to communicate, where do you feel you'd be most effective?
Well, seeing as, and he points out that you don't like to use your ability a lot or often. So he'll go, well, with my empathy, I could tell if somebody's not buying your story. So
Seems.
probably with you.
Lieutenant? I think maybe you can stand around the outside. Don't look like you're loitering too much. It's a high-class area. They may not take kindly to someone just loitering, but, you know.
Oh,
Keep
I
an eye out.
understand, Captain.
Maybe scope around the building or something.
I got it, Captain.
Well, Doctor, I guess let's set off.
And
Sure.
and what I want to do is I want to find a dark alley with a clear view of the front entrance and just disappear into the shadows.
Okay. You're probably still like a good 150 meters from the building if you were to do that.
Oh,
It's a pretty big square.
that's
probably
fine
just-
as long as I can see the front door.
Yeah. And Captain and Doctor, you guys are able to walk up to the building. No one stops you. Everyone's just kind of going about their business. There's people entering and leaving the building.
I'm gonna enter the building, just, smiling at people as I go, looking like it's a happy day.
All right.
And
When you get into the building, there's a single room in there that's maybe 10 by 10 meters. There is a single desk with a clerk working the desk. It's a female clerk. And in the back, there's like a door that leads somewhere. As soon as you enter, it's like, are you here to purchase the piece of worship to the heavens?
yes, I've come to do that, and I've also been assigned to a building inspection. So I thought I'd knock out two birds with one stone. I thought I would come down here, get the piece of worship, because, I really want that, and think it's very valuable. And I like the magistrate, want to follow his word and teachings, and also just check out the building in general for safety reasons, because of course I've been assigned to that, and I just want to do a thorough job.
No citizens may go past the door. By decree, all citizens must have a piece of worship to the heavens in their place of homes or shops.
Yes. Though I do have some special clemency to inspect buildings. Obviously, highly sensitive areas. I can do just a quick inspection, and anything unnecessary can be hidden from view.
No citizens may enter through the door.
I want to look around and see that if I think there's any chance that if I brought all attention to myself, that the doctor could get into the room.
The door's like almost directly behind the clerk.
Oh.
She noticed.
So this is
Are
this
you
is gonna sound weird. This is out of character. But a thought. Why don't I just claim to be a doctor of some kind, here for yearly exams or whatever?
So you're going to take my traveling salesman pitch and just turn it a little bit?
Make it a little more plausible, yes.
I find that offensive.
You should. You're a terrible negotiator.
I feel like I'm doing good.
Anyway, but that's up to you, Captain. If that's
Maybe.
something I should. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a threat.
Maybe I can talk them into. I could try to talk them in her to leaving for a second to look at something or to help with something.
Just so you know, when he starts crashing and burning, Starix backs up. The doctor backs up and acts like he's not with him so that he can talk after he crashes and burns. So carry on. Before he gets more threat, continue, Captain.
Another idea, we can also we could have the lieutenant beam out in front of the building. That would cause a distraction that she'd probably leave her desk for.
Just no.
Okay. I want to. Okay,
I'm gonna take a
I'm talking to her again. Okay, well I have 3 associates with me, so we'll need 3 of them.
Oh, someone left. Yep, there he is. That will be 15 currency.
Yeah. A worthy price, and I will dig out 15 and hand it to her.
And she takes the currency, opens the door, kind of drops it in there, closes it. And she writes down on a piece of paper and says, "One moment, please." And the door behind her opens, and out is a gentleman carrying the 3 devices, and he puts it on the table, on the desk. The clerk continues to write stuff down in her notebook. She says, failure to adhere to the lawful decree will result in severe punishment, imprisonment, and potentially death. Please display this piece of worship to the heavens properly.
Is there a special procedure that I should carry it until it reaches its destination?
And she reaches into the drawer, grabs a piece of paper, and hands it to you. This is the decree. Please follow it exactly.
Then
and hands you the piece of paper.
I will read it and glean any information from it that I need.
Obviously, it is in another language.
Uh-oh. I say thank you, and I'm going to grab the devices and hand one to the doctor and begin to walk out the building.
And no one stops you. And at this point, I am going to go ahead and switch to the next scene. So you guys are down to 4 momentum, and we'll head up to the ship. And I'll send something to the security.
Oh, I'm going to calm the captain directly, as well as say it to the bridge crew at the same time.
Well, the channel's open.
Yeah, we have 12 ships incoming. They just arrived in orbit around the planet.
Have they discovered you?
I
Does not.
would need to make a roll for that, would I?
Nope.
They have not.
They have not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ensign, scan the vessels.
Aye, sir. Scanning.
Hold on, I gotta roll for that. Reason, science, or security difficulty 3. Assisted by ships. Sensors, science, or sensor security.
You want me to assist? What you're saying?
No, it would be the ship assisting.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I gotta change the music to the bridge.
We have
It's
momentum.
really peaceful music.
It's true. I will. How much for 2 dice in momentum?
3.
I will spend 3.
Right, down to 1. And the ship. All right, you get a momentum back. Sorry, I just had to adjust something in the information I'm about to give. Boom.
Commander, I detect no weapon systems, no shields, basic spacefaring design. Smallest of them would be equivalent to a shuttlecraft. Largest would be a smaller starship.
Anything known in the database?
Can I use one of my free questions on that, or that?
We have.
I won't accept it. You would have that information if the Captain Grennan posted his log. Sorry, guys.
It isn't in the computer.
He failed to log his report. But if you watched, you might have that information.
Give me a second. I did watch. I know that there was some kind of biological research going on, and that there was a lady involved in it, and she had to meet somebody somewhere. She ended up dying on her way to meet the people.
And then, since no one said on screen, this is what appears on the screen.
I probably should have paid more attention.
I know them, but I'm not metagaming.
Ajula wanted to suggest that they were Ferengi, but I don't think that was right.
Any life forms aboard the vessels, Ensign?
Checking.
That would be an acceptable question.
Detecting no life forms. Commander, should I try to determine where they might have come from? Directionally,
Seems
I mean?
prudent. Yes. See if you can't get a heading where they approached from.
And that'll be my studious question if I can. Well, they're thorough. They mask their warp trails. I can't get a good read on it.
Very well. Kark, your thoughts on their weapons capability?
Do I make a scan for that?
Commander, I suggested their scans do not show any weapons.
So, non-existent.
keep monitoring to see what they're doing. Captain, be advised, we have an unusual guest that has entered orbit around the planet. There is currently no life signs that we can detect.
Would it be possible to scan for advanced scientific instruments? Are these some sort of reconnaissance drones?
Checking. For my ops question, I'd like to ask if they seem to be geared for that sort of thing. Like they're obviously doing recon scanning, or if they're just.
So you don't get a free ops question since you're not technically ops.
Oh, never mind that.
And then actually, I sent some info to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Takara, check your messages. I sent you something.
Sorry, I actually had me muted. The largest of the ships, two of them are remaining in orbit, but the other ones are descending. It appears if there's an exchange of resources going on, perhaps even people.
You mean they're kidnapping the people on the surface of the planet?
Well, it appears it's back and forth, but that doesn't make a lot of sense considering the life sign readings we saw.
So,
Captain, we could be looking at a very well of some advanced alien race doing some sort of genetic manipulation based on their scans of the devices on the planet.
I want to very quickly.
Sorry, Captain. So just to clarify that, there are two ships. The larger starship-sized ships are remaining in orbit, and the smaller ships are heading down to the planet and bringing things up.
Ah, okay, not an exchange, just up.
Right.
Okay.
But they're making multiple trips. What's the back and forth?
And are they bringing up people?
And resources.
But definitely people. Okay, now we have an issue.
I would very much like to get very quickly to somewhere they could beam these devices off of us in case these devices are somehow related to choosing the people who are going to be beamed up.
Caleb's gonna step from his hidey hole and basically point into the alleyway or wherever he's at.
Because I don't want to be accidentally beamed onto their ship. That could be bad for us. So once we take care of that, then I guess we'll wait it out.
And so you're beaming them to where?
We want the ship to beam them off of us to the up into some kind
a
of
science
containment.
lab or something. Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of containment.
Okay. And they're gone.
Okay. I don't suggest we stay out in the open.
I mean, I want to get to cover, but I feel like the ship has a much better chance of getting information than we do right now. They're the ones who kind of have the opportunity to discover things.
Yep. Are these ships, are they shielded?
No, I don't detect any shields, sir.
Captain, what about getting a lock on these the people they've transported, and put them into a holodeck simulation and have them wake up. See if we can kind of glean some details. Either all of them or maybe actually just one.
That's a real gray line. I mean, I'd have to talk with the commander and the doctor on that, because we don't know if we'd actually be the kidnappers in that situation. That could be crossing a line, because they may be going voluntarily. They may know about this.
Captain, we could
Suggestions?
initiate first contact procedures with the these aliens. If they are a drone vessel, there has to be someone controlling them. Potentially, to gain more information, we might have to initiate first contact procedures with them, but it's within protocol.
Doctor, you're another senior officer. You concur?
Sorry, yes, I do.
The next step would be for us to I guess go find the magistrate. It might be.
No, Captain, I meant with the drone vessels, not the actual population below. They may not have any clue what's going on.
Hail the ships in orbit. Because as from what we've seen, these people see this as a religion. They are probably oblivious and just ignorant to the fact that they are being kidnapped, so to speak.
You feel
they may think it's some kind of holy journey.
You said they're unarmed?
Detecting no weapons at this time, sir.
Maybe you should come out in one of the runabouts to make this declaration, to hide the fact that we have a very powerful starship, in case that entices them to run.
Our presence is currently hidden. We can have a general hail from where we're at, Captain, and still remain hidden at the moment.
I'm going to release this situation to you. You have full authority, Commander. Just
Ensign.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Just finish what you're saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just be careful.
Ensign, open a hailing frequency to the 2 vessels in orbit.
Aye, sir. Doing so now.
This is the Federation starship Sarek. To unidentified alien vessels in orbit, or to the 2 alien vessels in orbit around the planet. We wish to open negotiations and talks.
Getting no response, sir.
Suggestions?
We could beam aboard, but I don't know if that's again crossing a line.
Could be construed as trespass, sir.
They've failed to identify themselves.
They're also potentially kidnapping a species that has no knowledge of other alien races.
I think my suggestion is we can come back up to the ship, and you can assemble a team commander to board. Without objection. Unless
Very
there's
well,
an
sir.
objection.
No, there's no objection.
Not from me.
Okay. Are we still in a secluded space?
Yep.
3 to energize. Or 3 to beam up, and then energize. My bad. I guess it's not wrong.
And you're beamed into the transporter room.
Still in my native clothing, start walking to the bridge. And I have the bridge, Commander.
I follow the captain to the bridge. I assume Caleb's doing the same.
De Clark, Altera, you're with me.
I'm
Right, Charlie's Angels, or Starks' Angels. There we go. 3 male characters went, now the 3 female characters go.
Aye, Commander. You have yet to relinquish command, though.
I did not quite like that. Wasn't a formal transfer. That was an order that I've taken over the ship.
Oh, sorry, Captain.
She need not reply. Commander, do you feel upgraded tactical equipment necessary?
I would not. I would presume not to go in there heavily armed, Captain. We don't want to engage in hostilities at the time since we do not know who they are.
It is
So
a
I would
risk.
recommend though a constant lock on us at all times.
Seems reasonable. 1 second. I'm gonna enter some orders for which one is it? Who has the transporters? Ah, there she is. I'm gonna order Lieutenant Leva to be standing by in the transporter room, because she's our transporter specialist.
And she complies. Or acknowledges the command, I should say.
Good luck, Commander. And then I'm going to turn and take the chair.
Yes, sir.
GM, I'm going to make a quick scan to make sure there's actual atmosphere for us to beam into.
There it is.
Okay.
And I think we'll just go ahead and make with the transport. Oh. Before that, which ship are you going to?
I would say probably one of the bigger ones.
Okay. Cool. All right, so you guys are beamed into what looks to be some sort of command center for the ships. The walls are a dreary gray color with red tubes lining the ceiling in a type of uniform pattern. The ship's interior is very basic in design, and there is a single corridor that you could see from this command center that runs about 10 meters wide towards the aft of the ship. And in this corridor are multiple doors, 4 of them to be exact. And the silence is what you actually hear.
I take
Ensign
some quick
Altera.
pictures of the area. Aye, Commander.
Altera and De Clark, could you please investigate the console, see who we're dealing with?
Yeah, absolutely. DeCarrick makes her way over to a council and begins to investigate.
And you go up to the sole console that's in this command center, and it is definitely in a language that you do not recognize.
Okay. Hmm.
Since
Uh,
they're in a
Oh, go ahead.
since they're in a constant communication lock, can I ask them to transfer one of the pictures that Altera took so that I can compare it to the language that I saw on that document?
So you want what to happen?
I still have the document that I was given by the clerk. I just want to see if the languages match the controls to the document.
They do not.
Okay.
Since they could probably patch over the telemetry, which is an easy task, it does not match.
That's all I had.
Hmm.
Do we have any translation experts aboard? I don't believe so.
Don't think we're going to have anyone with translation as a focus.
Will be linguistics.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Xenobiology,
Actually,
linguistics, and cultural studies. That would be Ensign Zila Lanara, a Bolian.
actually, is this going with that Prax is going to come up and take a look at it. I'm going to invoke my join talent and gain the linguistics focus
Okay.
and attempt to kind of, with the help of the universal translator, kind of get a baseline.
Okay. Roll me reason engineering, I think.
Would it not be science? Could I use
Yeah, it
science on
could
the
be.
basis that I'm trying to understand the language?
Yeah, it could be science. Yes.
And what was the difficulty?
3.
We have 2 momentum.
Giving you 1 threat and spending 2 momentum to roll
Okay.
4 total.
Cool. You got it. And then I'm typing out the text.
Interesting.
Sir?
Apparently this vessel is under a predetermined program. And since what's the... of course I didn't get any momentum out of that. Can I dive deeper into analyzing what the objective of this program that's running?
No. And what I mean by that is the computer does not respond in any way to you being there. You essentially just said, "Oh, I think it says this." But other than that, the computer does not even recognize anyone's in front of it.
Does it appear to have like some sort of interface? Like, is there a keyboard? Is it?
I mean, it's like a screen. I mean, it's like a computer screen.
Okay. Can we use any of the kind of the deciphering of this to aid in like our ability to like interact with it? Or are you just saying it's not responding even?
There's no control interface, is what you're saying.
Yeah, not here anyway.
Okay. So I'm going to go look for another interface. So I'm going to use my tricorder to just kind of look for another interface.
Okay, as you scan around, you really don't find anything else aboard the ship. Let me double check my words here. Like you're scanning through the ship, there doesn't seem to be any engine room. There's no known bridge. There doesn't seem to be any like amenities for personal comfort. There doesn't even seem to be quarters on the ship. The only thing that you're able to scan seems to be 4 cargo bays that seem to be located behind those doors. And the cargo bays on this ship, 3 of the bays look to be filled with resources, various stones, metals. The other one is full of people at this point.
I'm going to make a judgment here. Do you think we should perhaps sabotage the engines, just so that we have a little bit more time to figure out what's going on here?
I was thinking that we could, that while the Sarek is coming to in place to disable the engines, that y'all could inquire as to the consent of the people in the ship.
Might I recommend placing some sort of subspace beacon aboard the ship as a less violent way to get our end, sir?
We could follow them.
That's my thought, yes, sir.
We can't follow 2 ships, so maybe we disable 1.
Well, we're already here on this one, so would you like it disabled?
Suggestions, Commander?
Are you sure about engaging in hostile actions with an unknown alien, sir?
I want first you to establish if those people want to be on that ship or are capable of responding to the affirmative that they want to be on that ship. If any other situation occurs, then I will engage in hostile action under my prerogative to stop piracy.
Are these people in a position where culturally they have enough awareness to give consent?
Captain, I have an update on the status of the ships. The entire fleet has stopped going back down to the planet. I can only make the assumption that they're about to leave.
We're making a move now. Let's, Lieutenant Calum, let's get on top of them and I'm gonna send a message down to the transporter room to beam a subspace beacon onto the ship that the away party is on, and I want to beam them off the ship as soon as possible. I don't want to risk them accidentally getting caught up.
Okay, so you're beaming a beacon on and beaming the team off.
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to order Calum to keep up with them if they try to leave. Prioritize the one with the beacon. To follow the one with the beacon.
Okay. So, you guys move. Well, I don't think you had to move, but there's the beams. And they are now back on the ship.
Yeah, I just wanted to be I wanted to get that done because I felt if we conversated, he might whisk y'all away.
I make my way straight to the bridge.
The away team heads to the bridge.
And I'm basically warming up the warp drive in case they jump, just pop right after them.
And Doctor, you're still at ops?
Do we have a doctor?
His mic's muted.
Alright, I just sent Doc a message. And
His tablet is passing.
okay. I'll send it to the chief then. If his tablet's being weird. So we'll say the chief got back up to the bridge, and as soon as you take your spot, that's what you get, and this happens.
Captain, I'm reading no life readings on the planet. There are environmental alarms at the location of the device.
So wherever you put the device on the ship, those devices, environmental alarms are going off.
Oh, the subspace beacon?
No, the
No,
devices
the
we beamed on the
boxes.
ship.
And they're quarantined in force fields.
Oh,
Science lab.
oh, the devices. Yes, the device. There's environmental. Okay, yes.
As
Yeah.
I hate to do this, but as I have no other alternative, Chief, let's beam him into space.
Aye, Captain, and I do I start beaming the devices off.
Okay. And I believe there's one more line to that, Chief.
Reading no life signs on the planet. There were environmental alarms at the location device of the devices. There are no life signs in that location in the science labs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not reading any life signs inside the science labs. There's no one.
Takart,
That-
can you
that's-
investigate? Can you get down there?
Scan the ships, Captain. The
Because
Uh,
there were
devices
at
are
least
used
4
to.
crewmen in that. There were at least
Doctor-
4 crewmen in that lab.
Doctor, can you scan the ships for human or for any Starfleet life signs or comm badges?
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
Takarik's on her way down to physically verify too.
What am I rolling? Now that I have my tablet fixed.
One moment.
Doogie.
And so your ship is now being hailed.
We have a person. Uh-oh.
I'm gonna put it on screen, I guess.
And on screen is the telltale sign of Kerr.
You know, in that flamboyant Tellarite way, where you don't see a smile. No smile, you can't tell with Tellarites, that sort of thing.
I think Prax is just stunned in silence right now.
Come to admire my
Is
handiwork.
scowling.
Oh, we hear you, Kerr.
Lieutenant? I
Oh,
Under
Starks,
the-
is that you? Wait.
under
oh,
my authority.
Tell me Prax
I-
is there.
I am
So every officer's on the bridge at this point.
I am ordering you to stand down on charges of piracy and a litany of other offenses.
You see me
Any-
look around whatever room I'm in,
Oh,
and I'm like,
shit. Sorry, I gotta take a call.
so Prax, while he's on his call, how are you doing?
Last time we saw each other, Kerr practically left you for dead.
No, not at all. I've had to, make sure those scientists remember those scientists. Had to make sure they had nice little rooms and food service and things like that. And the Hadfield crew, that one, So there's no way I could be dead. There was things I had to do.
Isn't this
Well,
the
the last-
Tellarite you shot on that one planet?
Yes, Doctor. And I should have put the phaser to kill. A decision I'm regretting already.
He's shorter than last time. Huh.
Nah. This is funner this way. Things get done. Oh, I found those fighter designs. Those are good. And now not having all the red tape, Federation kind of has that red tape, and it would have took Michelson. Where's Michelson? Oh, but anyway, would have took them a lot of time, but I'm able to make those.
At the mention of Michelson, the person at the con station just glares at you.
I glare back. I'm sorry. Is this family?
Friend.
Hello. And I wave. Again, in the way that Tellarite looks, because you can't tell if they're smiling or frowning or whatever, just, the same kind of like neutral stare. Yeah.
Kurt, what are you doing kidnapping a primitive race?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Hey, don't you want to join? This is my only
Do
warning.
you answer to your... And what warning is that?
Oh, the next plan will bring the Federation to its knees. You have one chance to join me, though. Want to join?
Kerr, I think you would know by now. I will not be joining you on any adventure. Or whatever you're scheming, I will be sure to put an end to you.
You sure? And I look, this is one of those moments where Kerr is like looking at everybody on the bridge. You? Be sure? It's a good one.
Sir, I suggest you surrender yourself so you have the most leniency in the courts. That is my advice to you. Please take it.
Sorry, I was on mute. I have been
no.
trying to speak for a while.
Oh, speak. Yeah, because you would have.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, the pizza guy called, but no. What I wanted to do was, while he's been talking, I've been trying to tell Altera to trace the signal.
Yeah, absolutely. Track me and try to see where I am.
Oh yeah, Altera was way ahead of you.
I have no idea either. So please tell. And then, so yeah, Edward has all of that figured out for me. But yeah, so I've just been having this moment one-on-one with Prex, as we should. And once, I get the idea that everybody says no, I'll be like, the one thing you'll see before you see my arm reach out and turn off the comms, the communication, I'll say something to the effect of, very well, have a little taste of what I'm planning, and then click, beep.
And Kerr goes off, and the red alert Caxlon sounds again.
Captain, I suggest we beam the prisoners aboard our ship. Containment, perhaps.
Captain, environmental systems read a virus in the air of deck 14, section 42. No life signs in that section.
Yeah, I'm going
Vent
to
the-
sick bay
vent the-
immediately.
Vent the section and shields up.
Venting the section now.
All right. Control engineering, assisted by structure engineering, difficulty 3.
Difficulty?
3.
Lieutenant Candle's gonna look at the captain and go, Captain, we need to change the computer codes. He gets in too easy.
Obviously, Lieutenant, I'm not handing out my command codes, so changing them would not help us.
Ed, I'm going to be giving you a threat for a.
Okay. Cool. And then just the ship assist, structure inch. All right. So you are able to vent out the virus, but not before discovering the toll. In Deck 14, Section 42, it was determined that all of the replicators were suddenly turned on and released a virus into the air, instantly killing everyone in that section. Chief Altera's quick thinking were able to vent the virus and section off the area, but everyone that was in that area has been killed.
Ed, I make a call to engineering to shut down all replicators.
Okay.
And
I don't care if you have to pull them out of the wall, shut them off. God damn.
I'll back up the call to actually remove them physically. Start having the secondary engineering teams removing them physically.
And at some point, the captain's going to get a telepathic message. I will be in sickbay analyzing the virus itself. I also have to make sure Neandra's okay.
Was he transmitting from one of the ships?
Not that I could tell, sir. I couldn't get a read on where he was. He must have been scrambling it from or venting it somewhere.
Permission to disable these vessels.
You may disable the one without the beacon on it. The other one, I want. Caleb, you cannot let that other ship out of our sight.
I'll do my best, Captain.
Ed, does the subspace beacon still transmit?
Yes.
Small,
And-
really.
And do I need to make a roll to disable that ship?
Yes.
No, not. Make sure it's the ship without the beacon on it, because we can
Yes.
find that one again.
Yeah, you're going to make an attack roll.
Correct.
And
Am
are
I
they-
raising
are
shields,
the-
Captain, and we engage in combat?
Oh, they
Yeah.
were already raised. You
And
said that
I-
a long time ago.
I want to know: are the ships moving?
No, they're just stationary.
Then can we create an advantage or something, since they're not moving, that this shot should be incredibly easy, even though we're targeting a system? Like, since there's no actual movement, we can just line up on them and take a very precise shot.
Well, you only got one momentum, so
Okay.
you'd have to roll really good with this attack.
Okay.
So it's a
Hold on.
control security assisted by the ship's weapon security.
And what's the difficulty?
2, because I'm assuming you're using phasers and getting the optimal
Yep.
range.
Yep.
Yep. And this is roll 20. Just had to reload itself, so just waiting for it to reload. Okay, there. Almost.
But yeah, the doctor has started making his way to sickbay. Stopping at his quarters to check on his wife and then going to sickbay. Thankfully, his quarters were not on deck 14.
God damn it. I hate roll 20.
The minute you want to roll, it's like, nah.
I know that's the problem is like I'm reading stuff in Discord and I haven't looked back on roll 20, so of course it's like, hey man, you're not paying attention to me. I should like crash so when you come back to me, like I was never there. Alright. If you want to do the scene where he's finding his wife. You probably want to go ahead and do that.
Nope, we're waiting on you.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Yep. Ha ha ha.
So how about that local sports team while this loads?
Hopefully, you're not talking about the Texas Rangers.
The Cowboys.
Or the Bears, where the guy hits off the bloody goalpost.
Oh, well, you know, they did
Rule to block
It-
you.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Bears fan anyway, but it was just hilarious.
Yeah, saved the guy's life.
I don't sports ball, so
Well, that's why he sports puck like a civilized person.
Exactly.
Although,
I hear some Canadian stuff going on.
Oh, Canada. All right, how's that roll 20, Clement?
Let's
Okay. I think it's loaded.
let's computer
Yes,
vent all
finally.
Canadians.
Hey,
Well, good. I can be the lone survivor of hockeydom being a Michigander. All right. So that's control security, you said?
Yep. Are you buying any dice before you roll?
I would use a determination.
Yeah, I have also a focus system targeting.
Are you targeting a system?
Their engines.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And sure, I'll buy a dice.
Okay. So 3 dice, please.
Crap, why is it doing that? Sorry, I'm gonna have to do it 3 different times.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Then the ship, please.
I don't know if I can find the sheet.
I got it.
Was-
Or not.
All right, cool. You bank 1 momentum because you are targeting the engines. And damage, please. All right.
bam.
So as you target the ship just absorbs the phaser energy. And one of the gray accents on the hull glows a bright color and shoots the phaser beam directly back at your ship, doing the exact damage that you just did to the ship back on you.
I should have remembered that because that happened to the Kismet with a tractor beam.
And as soon as they return the fire, the entire ships warp out.
I guess Calum takes us to warp. As long as that didn't hit our engines.
It doesn't matter. It's like our resistance.
Oh yeah, that is our resistance. My bad.
And I believe with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm actually going to call the episode right there.
Ooh.
We gotta remember to ram them.